Good afternoon and welcome to CNU Talks live at lunch. I'm Grace Charlene Marks, class of 2021, and I will be our moderator for today. As you know, this is a monthly series that is brought to you by the Office of Alumni Relations and the Christopher Newport Alumni Society. We are so excited to have you join us this afternoon as we close out this season of our talks, joined by the Honorable Nate Fontaine, class of 2007, and our Christopher Newport Alumni Society president. He is concluding his second year as president and has been an incredible leader for our board, reinvigorating the energy and serving in supporting our chapters, supporting regional engagement, philanthropy, as well as providing much needed direction and encouragement to our alumni leaders. And we are so excited that he gets to share with us about how this year in alumni relations at Christopher Newport has been. Nate Fontaine was a member of the Presidential Leadership Program at Christopher Newport University and graduated in 2007 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Information Systems with a concentration in Networking Communications. In 2009, Nate earned his Master of Science in Management degree with an emphasis on Information Systems Securities from Colorado Technical University. While serving his country, he worked towards both of his degrees, and he continued to serve honorably in the Virginia Air National Guard, where he served as an F-16 and an F-22 crew chief for 12 years. Upon his honorable discharge in 2013, he went on to work for the United States government. In his time with the government, he has risen through the ranks with an intense dedication to his profession and is currently serving as the Chief Information Security Officer for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. In addition to his full-time job, Nate has served for several years as a member of his town government in Lovettsville, Virginia, within Loudoun County. Nate started his journey by serving as a member of his town planning commission, the town council, and was elected for 2 terms as mayor with a record turnout of voters, just showing his dedication not only to the university, our country, but to his local community as well. In 2018, Nate reconnected with the university when he was honored by Christopher Newport as the Distinguished Alumni Service Award winner for his contributions to the community and his public service. Nate is also married to his high school sweetheart and fellow alumni of Christopher Newport University, Lizzie Fontaine, class of 2005, and they have 2 children together. Nate exemplifies the characteristics of leadership, service, and honor set by Christopher Newport University. And through his exceptional example in his personal and professional life, Nate is a true example of a Christopher Newport University captain for life. Nate has been an absolute joy to work with during his time on the Alumni Society board. And as he closes out his term as president, he will continue to serve on the board as a general member. Today, he will be sharing with us some thoughts on how this year went as an alum of the university, as well as what the board was doing, what our chapters were up to, and some general university updates. As he shares those remarks, feel free to type any questions you have in the Q&A box below. And at the end, once he is finished, I will read those questions aloud to him to answer for as long as time allows. This session is recorded and will be shared out with you, our Captain for Life community, at a later time to view. So with that, we turn things over to Nate, and we are so excited to have you here today.
Well, Grace, thank you very much for that amazing introduction. And all of you who are calling in and listening to the virtual environment here, I appreciate you all being here. As Grace mentioned, I am Nate Fontaine, and I am your president of the Alumni Society Board of Directors. And it's really hard to believe that this is the second year of our Captain for Life updates tradition. It's year 2, but it's our second year tradition. And I'm glad to be able to come back with you and explain kind of what we've been doing and how we're trying to make those connections between you all and the university and amongst each other much more meaningful. So thank you for showing up today. Thank you for continuing to support your alma mater in ways that have truly been inspiring over the past 2 years. As your president over the past 2 years, it's been my absolute honor to serve you and help with the dedicated team of folks who have put in meaningful work to make meaningful and lasting connections with the over 37,000 alumni that we have across this globe. We are now have gone international, as I spoke at the last commencement. We have folks overseas now. We've got populations showing up in Atlanta and elsewhere. Not Atlanta, that's local. But we have folks showing up in London and other places around the world, and they're starting to make those connections and regroup wherever they happen to live. But before I go any further, I want to make sure that we do celebrate and congratulate the newest members of our alumni family, the over 1,000 graduates of our class of 2025. So welcome to the Captain for Life Network, and I ask that you please use your new network of friends here And we absolutely want to hear from you, and we want to understand what you're going through. We want to hear from you and read about you in the Voyages magazine and on social media. So let us know what your achievements are. Let us know what your adventures and your life milestones as you continue through this life. And the best way to do that is keeping in touch with folks like Grace or Baxter or other individuals at the Office of Alumni Relations and making sure that your contact information is up to date and accurate. We send out a lot of great information about events and local things happening around you. And if we have your old address or we have your parents' old address, and let's say that you used to live in Richmond, but you're now living in New York City. Well, when we have events in New York, when the president travels to New York, when Baxter and staff travel to New York to host events up there, or we're starting chapters in the area, you'll miss out on that because the university is targeting those messages to folks who live in those areas. So please, I can't stress this enough, make sure that the Office of Alumni Relations has your updated contact information and they can reach out to you to ensure that you're getting all the exciting things that your university and your alumni are trying to get you connected with. I also want to make sure that we do thank our regional chapters for hosting the Welcome Home events this past month to introduce our new captains for life across the country. And I also want to make sure that we do thank the Office of Alumni Relations. Grace, you were everywhere. Baxter, you were everywhere. You guys continue to show up every time to help us reconnect and make our memories and celebrate this ever-growing family of Christopher Newport captains. But today is meant to be an update on what we've done and what we have coming up this year. So this past year, we've had full sails ahead for some exciting activities. Right here with the Live at Lunch series, we've completed the first full 2 years of this series, and we've covered some amazing topics from everything with Professor Kip Riddick coming in to speak, Professor and alumni Kip Riddick to be able to speak about life on the Appalachian Trail. We had deep dive discussions on a Torgler Center. We had President Kelly himself come in and do a sit-down discussion on the new strategic compass and what that means for alumni and what that means for the university and where, through his leadership, he's hoping to take the university. We've had explorations of hot topics like artificial intelligence. We've had discussions on election polling and the accuracy of those just prior to this past election. We've had discussions and updates from CNU athletics and even discussions as far as stigmas around organ donations. But I want to make sure that we do applaud the effort. We want to hear from you. If you have topics that you have for a Live at Lunch series, we would love to hear from you. Our careers committee works really hard to identify these, and Baxter and Grace and others. We are looking for folks to provide content and updates that you think are important for folks to know about. If you want to do topics on career coaching or other items, if you think there are items that alumni should know about and you have an expertise in that space, please don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to get you out there and have you introduce yourself and then share the information that you think is important for your alumni to go over. Other exciting things, our careers committee has been very busy and very hard at work at doing our Life After College Explained series. This is a book that is handed out by the Office of Alumni Relations to the new graduates as they come through. And it talks about everything from what does it mean to buy a car? What does it mean to lease a car? What does it mean to rent an apartment or a townhouse? And what does it mean to have a mortgage? What is insurance? What is health insurance? What is life insurance? Big decisions that you have to make on as you go through life. So we're taking that book itself and we're moving it into some video snippets that we're releasing on the YouTube pages. And I think we've already released some on finances. We've already released some on leases agreements, mortgages, and we have a few more, again, coming up on insurance. So this is real world information that not just for new alum, but also alum that are a little more seasoned in life. There's always more information to learn from. And we call back subject matter experts from all of these spaces to be able to run through and talk about their experiences and to educate and inspire and lead us in how we can make better decisions in this game of life that we go through. We also are developing a new alumni club model. So right now we have the Alumni Society, and in that society you have the board of directors, and then you have chapters, both affinity and regional chapters. So the regional chapters are like the DC Nova, the Roanoke, the Raleigh, Atlanta was one at one point. We have all these regional chapters that we go through, but we also have affinity chapters. And these could be everything from the very active football, so marching captains. The affinity chapters are what made your time at the university personal and made your connections much stronger to your friends, your other alum, and the university itself. So we're excited about the possibility of creating a club model, which reduces some of the administrivia and overhead that kind of comes with having a full structured chapter under the Alumni Society. But a club model allows the groups to start naturally forming together, naturally getting together to meet at restaurants, meet at baseball games, meet at golf tournaments, just meet up to start making those connections again. I'm excited for the opportunity for some new clubs, such as maybe a Captain Chris crew, right? A crew of folks who used to cheer on the school, used to bring Captain Chris to life at all of our events on and off campus. It would be amazing to have, while the club is a small number of people, it would be outstanding and very exciting to meet up with the Captain Chris crew club. For those that put on the Captain Chris head and outfit and went and cheered us on. Other ones would be like maybe the engineering and computing, the School of Engineering and Computing. We are also having discussions around Greek life. Anything that made your time at the university more personable and made your friendship groups and made your affinity to the university stronger, we're looking to make into these club models and eventually grow them into chapters. So if you have one, don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach out to myself. I'll be on the board for 2 more years, but you can also reach out to, again, Baxter and Grace and others. Grace is over chapters. So Grace is a great resource if you have questions of kind of what a club model looks like, chapters around you, or the affinity chapters that we do have. So again, it's very exciting to be coming up with this club model to be able to bring folks back together again. Homecoming was a major hit this year, and thanks you to all the Captains for Life who showed up and continue to make Alumni Alley unforgettable. We believe we had almost every chapter there. And during commencement week, we had a class of 1975 reunion, a true testament to the lifelong connections that captains have made. So it was great to meet up with them for a little bit during commencement. As we celebrated the class of 2025, we also got to celebrate and reconnect with the class of 1975 for their 50th reunion. Other items that we had go through this year, we had the holiday parties, which were outstanding. And I want to make sure that we do thank some of the individuals who personally hosted some of these. We had Molly Stillman in Raleigh, the Sellers family in Roanoke, the Allsop family in Richmond, the Brushnans in the DC, along with the DC Nova chapter, hosted the one up in DC. The Multicultural chapter with Julia Shipman and the Southampton Rhodes chapter. And then we had Lindsay Carney Smith, who hosted our Peninsula chapter event right there at the Alumni House on campus for the Peninsula chapter. These holiday events, if you haven't shown up, are a great time and a great way to connect, especially around the holiday season, to get together and just see how, share stories and see how the years have gone for folks. I show up in some festive attires and suits. There are some photos out there floating around of the 3 or 4 different Christmas suits that I've got, but it's another fantastic opportunity to get together and celebrate the connections that we have. For other chapters, our chapters have been absolutely knocking it out of the park this year. The Peninsula chapter alone, with their Muriel Millar Memorial Golf Tournament, they were able to raise additional funds of $35,000 in new scholarships, or to add to their existing scholarships that they already host for the university. So if you haven't already, I believe the sign-up is going to be coming out soon for the Muriel Millar Memorial Golf Tournament. It's a great opportunity, again, to connect. President Kelly's out there. Baxter's out there, Captain Chris is out there. I'm usually out there on a hole. We get to go through with a couple different, obviously you have the golf tournament, but we've got some fun games that take place as you go through and do that. So the Peninsula chapter is doing an amazing job of running that golf tournament. Other regions have started to join the pro and connecting pro sports along with the collegiate series. And we've had some co-branded merch opportunities with teams like the Nationals, the Capitals, and DC United. We've had chapters set up game nights with the Richmond Squirrels, Fredericksburg Gnats, and even in the past 2 years, we've had this Savannah Bananas game, which is outstanding, where we had over 400 alum sign up and take the tickets that were allotted to us by the Savannah Bananas in the first 24 hours. We went back and asked for more tickets. They gave us 50 more is all they could provide us, and we were able to sell those out in a very quick fashion as well. And if you've not been to a Savannah Banana Games, put in for the lottery. But also your alumni chapters have put in for the lottery as well to get another Savannah Bananas game. It is a fantastic time, and it's very entertaining to watch them go through and do their version of baseball. Other items that we can run through, CNU Day was an incredible celebration. We had celebrations in 19 different cities, and you all were able to provide over $700,000 in support for scholarships and university programs. So thank you very much for participating in CNU Day. Thank you very much for continuing to find ways to give back and also an amazing time with those 19 cities of celebrations that we had across the United States from here coast to coast. Additional items, many of you have come back to the university and many of you are returning speakers and are coming back to share your insights, bring back internships, bring back career opportunities, come back as career advisors, come back as coaches. I want to thank you for doing that. You are making a difference and living that life of significance of giving and hope, giving back and holding the door open for those behind you. As you do come back to campus, please make sure you do stop by the Alumni House because they'd love to be able to talk to you, know what you were up to, and also ensure that you're being tracked for alumni engagement and the metrics that they capture overall. There are many of us who do come back to the university. And again, if you have special skill sets, go back and talk to the programs that you graduated from or the classes that you participated in. Talk to some of the deans and different programs and see if there's opportunities for you to come back and share your insights, your real world experience where you happen to be a subject matter expert. Those opportunities are amazing. The students love it. And it's a great way to reconnect back with your alma mater. I also want to make sure that we do thank President Kelly, the Vice President of Advancement, and his dedicated staff of the Alumni Relations. They have been a true partner and truly believe in the power of all of you as alumni. They have traveled everywhere from New York all the way down to Florida, many different cities in between, out to Nashville, Tennessee, these past 12 months alone, to make sure that we have the alumni connections built and you are prioritized at the university. They want to connect with you. They want to find out how to bring you back home, how to get you connected back to the university. The commitment from the leadership, the administration and the leadership at the university is truly special to see how they are prioritizing alumni along with the rest of the required functions that they have to fulfill in being a source of higher education. We're very excited that President Kelly and the administration included more members of the Alumni Society Board of Directors and other alumni in the Strategic Compass program. And we're excited to see how alumni can partner along to make that strategic compass the vision of where the university is going to go for the next few years, how we can partner in that to ensure that the strategic vision does come true and that strategic compass can take place. So that was a lot of items that we just kind of ran through there. If you have any questions, don't forget to type them in and we'll run through any questions you've got. But as a high level synopsis, that's what we've done this past year, which is incredible. And I want to thank you all for continuing to show up. But that's not all. Looking ahead, we've got some big things coming. We have the Rock the Boat event here coming up in the DC, if you happen to be around the DC, Northern Virginia, Maryland area. We have alumni awards, which are coming around the corner in August. And you all have definitely made it very difficult for the the awards committee to be able to identify who the finalists are and make those award nominations. So again, you guys are a great and very powerful set of people. Homecoming 2025 is set and the dates have been released. So please check social media as well as the alumni website and the university's website. This year we'll be celebrating, excuse me, the 2016 10-year reunion, the 2001 25-year reunion, and the 1976 50-year reunion. Other items we're very excited to be launching a new opportunity for young alum to make those connections stronger. The Young Alumni Council is being stood up and it's going to consist of new graduates. Right now, I think we're targeting new graduates within the past 5 years. We have a pilot group of very strong alumni who are helping to form what these Young Alumni Council should look like. And this Young Alumni Council would be a recommendation body to the Alumni Society Board of Directors on how we can better engage with our young alum. What events are you looking for? What type of programs are you looking to get engaged with? And how do we make that connection with you sooner rather than waiting years down the road or even unfortunately lose that connection from the time that you graduate just over those first 5 years. So more to come on that one. I think Baxter and staff will be able to release that coming up soon and some of the information and how to get engaged with there. But if you are a young alum in the past 5 years, keep an eye out for that Young Alumni Council. Finally, we talked a little bit about the programs that we've done, and a lot of it has come out of the Alumni Engagement Survey. So you will be receiving an Alumni Engagement Survey shortly. When it does come out, it'll ask you to make sure that your contact information is updated, like I mentioned at the beginning. If your contact information is not accurate, we really can't share the great details of the amazing events and programs that we're trying to get to you. But also, how do you want to be reached? What programs are you looking for? it's really important that if you guys can take a few moments to just answer that alumni engagement survey to ensure that we're tailoring our messaging, but also our programs to what you want to have. And it's not just crazy ideas that Nate comes up with and then hoping that folks show up. The alumni engagement survey gives us a window into what you're looking for and how we can make those connections better. But I think I've come to the end of my remarks. I want to thank you all for allowing me to serve as your board president for the past 2 years. I have 2 more years on the board, but I'll step back as the past president and I'll just be a regular board member. Your efforts and your community efforts and your energy and your commitment and the love for everything that you have about CNU fuels what we do. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity to have the engagement with you all. It's been amazing to see you as I've gone up and down all through Virginia. I'm down at the university at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, up from Northern Virginia. But I've traveled to most of the holiday parties. I love to see you all at homecoming. So if you do see me, please make sure you stop and say hi. And I do want to make sure that we thank you for keeping the door open for the captains that are behind you. You guys continue to lift them up. You continue to show up. You continue to prove that once again, once you are a captain, you're always a captain. So thank you for this opportunity. And I'm here to stand by any questions. And to borrow from President Kelly, go Captains.
Thank you so much, Nate. That was such a great overview of, it feels like just like a drop in the bucket of all the work that you and our office and other alumni have been doing all year to stay connected, share about our university, and ultimately just continue to pursue that captain for life mentality. But again, thank you for your service as president over the last 2 years. And with that, looking back, what has been your proudest accomplishment over your tenure as president of our board?
Absolutely. So the time coming out of COVID hit different organizations and different volunteer organizations pretty hard. So because everybody had to transition from being on, either on campus, having regular meetings on campus, the virtual environments kind of kicked in. Then programs were impacted and how we would do those. So being able to come into the board and getting a strong team on the board to be able to restructure us a bit and get us heading in the right direction, put some structure around us. We're not a very stuffy board. We have a great time and a lot of events, but it was important to make sure that we had a path forward and a vision of kind of where to head to next. And it was perfect timing, honestly, with President Kelly coming on. His inauguration was right after I got elected president in the June before. He came on in August as his inauguration. And the partnership between there and making sure that the alumni is aware of where the university is heading. The Alumni Society board is ready and starting to produce fun activities, all the things we just ran through. Again, everything from live at lunches to a Life After College Explained to new scholarship opportunities, new internship opportunities. Really, it was helping to get the board back on path again with a very strong team of leaders on there with myself. I couldn't do it without folks like my secretary Nick Mira and my vice president Sammy. It was a powerhouse team that we had set up to help get the board to the point where we were starting to deliver and make those connections back with you coming out of the global pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely was a challenge coming out, and you guys definitely faced it head on, and has been incredible to watch. How did you and why did you join and like look to get involved on the Alumni Society Board of Directors? What drew you in?
Sure. So what drew me in was obviously when you come back to the campus. The campus is a very special place. If you have not been back in some time, please come back. Even if it's not the same campus that you went to, the university has done a lot of work to make sure the connections of what was there previously and what is there now are still there. So they've got maps and overlays to be able to show you where the existing buildings were. Even from my time there are very few buildings. I believe Santoro might be the only building left from my time there. And I started in 2001 and went to 2007. So a lot of the buildings have even changed then. And in those early 2000s is when we used to call it, you had the green rat maze running through where there were green plywood walls for all the construction. And the campus has turned out beautifully. So please, if you've not been back, please make sure you do come back to get a tour. It is a very special place. You still feel that same energy being on campus. You still feel that connection, even though the buildings are different, even though the people have changed. Let's say you're in class of 1976 and you're coming back for your 76 or even 75, and you're coming back for your 50-year reunions. Make sure you come back and get reconnected. There are ways to see what's there. So honestly, it was the engagement and being back on campus, that connection and energy that kind of came out of it was important. Also, my wife and I had moved off into West Virginia at one point, and then Northwest Loudoun County, and there wasn't. We started seeing more and more CNU alum in these areas, but there was no real connection back because we are a long distance away from the DC Nova chapter events, and it's no fault of them. So I wanted to start getting engaged and start having events locally around me to reconnect with alum and reconnect with those friends and other folks I've not even met yet in that area. So it was just that sense of connection and getting back to the university. But again, if you have not been back, I strongly urge you to go back, sit in for a tour, stop by the alumni house. They can give you the maps of the buildings of where they used to be, and make those connections again.
Yes, no, we love welcoming you all on campus. We were so glad to reconnect you on campus, Nate. And as Nate said, we do have now historical walking tour maps. So no matter when you graduated, when you were last on campus, we want you to know that you have a place on Christopher Newport's campus, and we will help orient you to whatever you are looking for. And we're so excited to welcome you. So come by the Gregory P. Click Alumni House anytime. We also have a question from our audience today asking about, are there any particular strategic initiatives that you and the Alumni Society would like to see happen outside of the club model or chapter model that you mentioned to connect alumni with each other and current students, but you maybe need more people power and volunteer power to make happen?
Absolutely. So great question. What I would love to see happen is a stronger connection between affinity chapters and regional chapters, and this is where the people part comes in. We have regional chapters, but our ties to CNU are not really based off your region because you may have moved into a different region. But your ties to your affinity chapter, what made your time on the campus and made your time at the university special, those affinity connections are very important. So I'd love to see a few more affinity clubs start, and then hopefully they grow into chapters. But the cross connection between when a regional chapter is hosting an event or an affinity chapter is hosting an event, it's kind of shared, and we start seeing that mesh of regional chapters and affinity chapters start working together for their events and for their activities. That would be a huge win, just to make that connection more meaningful. Because again, regionally, even by class year, there's not a strong connection usually with class year as we've gone into the 2000s. But your connection with your affinity groups and your interest groups is really where we're starting to see that strong connection. So strategically, if we can start marrying the regional chapters and the affinity chapter events and activities more closely, I think we're going to see better. We're going to see an increase in engagement, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. You mentioned that you've been on campus a lot, and we appreciate your treks up and down 95 and 64 immensely. What is your favorite place or thing on campus right now that if someone came back to campus tomorrow, they would have to go check out?
Absolutely. Well, funny enough, I just learned because the class of 2025, I did not know there was a secret garden on campus. So the class of 2025 senior project was to actually gather money for themselves, and they're going to physically do the labor to refurbish and rebuild that secret garden. So secret garden was a neat adventure to go to. I always make sure I have time, and I end up running through the Torgler Center because the exhibits in there are fascinating. I think one of my favorite ones were ones that had exhibits built out of just paper. There were other ones that are just reflections. So Torgler Center is an amazing piece to go to. But honestly, being around campus, it is beautifully done, and that energy you kind of get there. The campus store is a great place. They've got some items in there. But I think honestly, just being on campus, the Secret Garden was a new find. The Torgler Center is always one of my favorite places to end up in. So those are some of the favorite places I end up going. Obviously, hanging out with Grace and Baxter in the Alumni House is a great time as well, back in the back of campus there.
Yes, we love getting to hang out with you. And I love that you now know the secret garden. That is,
No,
yeah, it's so cool. And I love that the class of 25 wanted to give back and invest in that space for all of our future captains to slowly discover that secret. So be sure to come back on campus so you can also discover it as well, everyone. But Nate, we just want to thank you again for your service over the last 2 years and beyond that. Again, to our country, to our university, to your community. You have been such a leader in service, and we just appreciate that so much. And I am so excited for all that you're going to continue to do, and so grateful that you're on our team. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone else for joining us today. This will conclude our season of Live at Lunch, and we will take a break in July. So enjoy that vacation time. Hopefully you get to go get some rest, connect with family and friends, and then when we return in August, kicking off our next season, bringing you all new updates from campus partners, alumni, and other experts in their fields. And we can't wait to see you again. With that being said, we will see you again in August. And with that, we'll be seeing you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.